Now, I haven't made a video talking about the topic of abortion in quite a while, but I've said everything I've needed to say about it, and any other video at this point would just be me repeating myself. But I had some thoughts that have been in my mind for quite some time, so I decided to finally put it in video format. And that is, there's this one talking point I've heard from a lot of people on the liberal social justice warrior feminist perspective that has always thrown me for a loop. And it confuses the absolute hell out of me. In fact, my friend Ana from the Young Turks has said this talking point so many times I can only imagine she truly wholeheartedly believes this. And that is the mindset that Republicans don't like abortion and they want to remove abortion rights from women because they want to punish women. And a lot of feminists believe that. Even, in fact, again, like Ana Kasparian, I'll show you, so you guys don't think I'm making this up. She has said those words verbatim. So, go ahead, show the crowd.
Some right-wing people out there, religious people who genuinely think that it's life at the moment of conception. But I would argue that's a small group of people. The reality is these are people who hate the fact that women get pregnant when they don't want to get pregnant, and then they don't have to suffer the consequences of that pregnancy. Oh, you had sex? Well, then you need to suffer the consequences. You need to have that child. We don't care whether or not that child lives a good life after he or she is born, but you need to have that child and suffer the consequences of your actions. That's what it's really about. So going these clinics because of their so-called morality. In reality, they don't even believe in their own morality. This is all about making women pay for whatever they've done, whether it's sex or living their lives the way they want to live. Breast cancer screenings. We want to shut down an entire organization that helps the needy because we object to abortion. Not because of moral issues, but because we want women who get pregnant to suffer the consequences of their pregnancy. That's what it's really about. They don't like that. That's why women are supposed to be punished if they have sex and they get pregnant. This is not a pro-life thing. This is all about control. This is all about punishment. They hate the fact that women can get pregnant and not have to suffer the consequences of it.
Concerned about this issue, but she's not pro-life, okay? Pro-life people are all about, not all of them, some of them are genuine, but the vast majority that I hear from, the talking heads, the politicians, are doing it for political gain, or they're doing it because they believe that women should be punished if they're sexually liberated. Oh, you're having sex out of wedlock and you get pregnant? You need to be punished. We're going to make you have that baby. Yeah. No, we're not going to provide any governmental assistance to make sure that that baby stays healthy and alive. We're not going to help you or give you the support you need to be a parent. But you know what? We don't care about that. We just want to punish you. That's what the pro-life movement in this country is really all about.
Now, Ana Kasparian is not the only individual who believes this to be the case. In fact, my greatest adversary, Laci Green, also finds this to be true. By all means, Laci, go ahead and take us away.
This movement doesn't give a shit about life, about babies, definitely not about women, so what's really going on here? The real motive of the self-described pro-life movement is a politicized attack on sex, and more specifically on female sexuality. The underlying belief is that sex is only for procreation. It's a woman's duty to have babies. A woman who has sex for pleasure and not for babies has broken the rules. She's sinned, and now she has to face the consequences of her actions. Consequences being pregnancy and childbirth.
So now that you viewer know that I'm not making this up, that there are apparently some individuals who genuinely believe that Republicans just want to punish women with pregnancies and whatever, I just have to sit here and shake my head in confusion because I don't understand why. For one, I don't understand why anyone would think that of Republicans. I don't understand why anyone would think that Republicans are just so, I guess, cruel or evil or just dastardly to where they would want women to be just in pain and hurting from the I don't get the mindset. I don't get why they believe that Republicans are like that as people, why they believe conservatives are like that as people, especially considering when conservatives are the ones who talk about the joy of having a family and are supposed to be the family value side of the whole political spectrum. Does it really make any sense that the individuals who are pro-family would be all like, you should be hurt and punished by your family? Again, and that's just me. I don't get it. It doesn't. I mean, conservatives are a lot of things, but malicious individuals that want to punish women, they don't certainly strike me as that. And in fact, both the left and the right wing seem to have this fetish about keeping women safe. Because believe it or not, people really fucking like women. But even then, I think what really gets me the most about the whole idea that Republicans want to punish women by having their children is, well, two things. One, I don't think a lot of Republicans view children as a punishment. I know I certainly don't. I mean, I would love to have children one day. Hopefully I can find a woman who would like to have children with me. So, well, then again, I'm not a Republican, so I guess maybe I don't count. Okay, so talking to other Republicans, I don't find other Republicans or conservatives say that they dislike children. In fact, again, they seem to be on the persuasion of wanting to have families. So they don't strike me as the people who honestly think that children are a punishment. I mean, children are expensive, sure, certainly. Children absorb lots of resources, yeah, but a punishment, are children really a horrible, malicious thing? I mean, maybe to some gay people, but not to conservatives. No, I don't really think that is, I don't really think that's the thing you could say about conservatives. I mean, you could say a lot, but them wanting to punish women with children, I don't think is one of them. But then it brings me to the second thing that I have to say about the whole punishment thing of children. I don't even think that women are the people who would be punished the most if they are forced to have children. Now, you're probably confused when I say that. You're probably like, what's this you say, sir? What is this you say, sir? Well, I will explain it. Just, strap yourselves in, because honestly, I do think there are some people who suffer from being born to a woman that doesn't want them. And I think I just revealed who those people are. Yeah, if there's anyone that's going to be punished, with a woman being forced to have a child, would be that child. And even more than that, I would argue that the father of said child would also be the individual who is truly punished there. Let's take stock, shall we? If we take it from the top, a woman's going to be pregnant for 9 months. She can't get an abortion. Let's say abortion is gone. She can't have it. She can't do it. Which means she's going to bring forth to a child that she didn't want. Now let's assume that, okay, let's take it a step back. Abortion's fine. And a woman can get an abortion. Well, guess what? No one suffers. No one suffers. No one suffers. What am I alluding to, people? Oh yeah, that's right. That child doesn't even get to be a child. I mean, completely withholding whether you think it's wrong or right, whether you think it's murder or not. The fact is, the child will not be a child. The fetus will not become a thing. He will not exist. It won't be. He won't even be a he. He won't even get to that point. Now, I'm supposed to expect someone's being prevented from existence itself is a punishment to women? Sorry, I can't do it. So now let's assume that the woman has a child, right? Now the woman has a child that she doesn't want, okay? So if a woman has a child she doesn't want, that means that there's a baby that's growing up with a mother that didn't want them. And I'm supposed to believe that that is a punishment to that woman? I mean, let's take this for example, okay? She can, if she really didn't want, okay, let's take it from pregnancy. Let's say, okay, maybe the Republicans want women to be punished with the pain of birth. Well, you mean, there's a whole bunch of different anesthetics that they use to help women out with that anyway, and then there's cesarean section, so she can avoid that whole birth thing outright. So, again, I don't really see if that's the punishment aspect there, but let's say the child's here, okay? Now we went from the top, let's go to the middle. That child's got to be raised with a mom that didn't want them. And again, you are trying to tell me that Republicans think that that's a punishment to the woman? The mother is being punished because she doesn't want her child? Well, I would imagine that the child who's desperate for the affection of their mother would be the person that gets hurt the most in that scenario. Well, I would imagine that they would be the one who gets hurt the most, considering they got to deal with either not being fed properly, or not being loved properly, not being taken care of properly, maybe even possibly being abused by a mother that never wanted them. How about that? Again, I have to wonder, how do you get to the conclusion that the woman's going to be punished when it's the child that has to grow up with a mom that never wanted them? And then let's take stock in this. The child might have a father that never wanted him. So now he's going to grow up asking himself or asking herself, how come my father doesn't love me? How come my parents don't love me? How come my parents don't want me? That child's going to grow up with that emotional pain, that trauma from being born to two people that never wanted them, and I'm supposed to believe that it's the woman, the mother, that gets punished there? I'm sorry, but I do not follow the logic that conservatives want to punish women with children when it is the child being born to a mother that didn't want them who has to deal with that emotional baggage. So now let's switch gears to this. Let's talk about the father, the guy that was there. I mean, imagine if he didn't want a child, well, he's got to pay child support. In other words, he's the one that really is getting punished. I mean, because if he doesn't pay child support, he runs the real risk of having his freedom taken away from him. He runs the real risk of not being able to find employment or a job. I mean, like literally, there are some job occupations that won't even allow you to sign up or get hired for them because you're behind in child support. I know if you're a lawyer, you can lose your license to practice if you're behind in child support payments. Which then would beg the question, if you can't practice, how are you supposed to earn money? It's really, apparently they didn't think that one through. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think they thought the whole jail thing through either. I mean, if you're behind your child support payments and you go to jail, then well, how are you supposed to earn money so you're not behind on the payments? I don't know. Apparently they didn't really think that whole child support system thing out, did they? No, but seriously, on a serious notion, even though what I just said was serious, and I said it in a joking manner, it's the father, again, who's the one that's got to pay child support. And let's argue, what if he wants the child? What if he has to deal with a vindictive mother that doesn't let him see his child? Well, again, it's not the woman that's being punished there. It's the father. If the father is a man that doesn't want to be with the mother of his children or doesn't pay child support, saying he's just on rough times, and the mother decides to go on that whole pay-per-view thing, like if you don't pay child support, you can't see your children, he's the one that's suffering, not her. Even if she doesn't get money, even if the father isn't paying child support, she can still sign up for welfare, or she can get her own job and make her own money. That's a thing that can happen. So even in that scenario, it's still the man that has to pay child support. It's still a man that isn't being able to see his child that gets punished in that scenario. And if the man didn't want the child, then him paying child support or being forced to try to take care of that kid is again him being punished. But not the mother, considering that the mother at any point in time could just give her child up. I mean, she really doesn't have any... See, the thing that I find really interesting about the whole relationship, at least here in America, between mother and child, is the fact that women are not beholden to their own children. Hell, I would imagine if women didn't have to spend 9 months raising their children out here in America, they probably wouldn't give a damn about them. I mean, considering all the things you can do with your child, I mean, you can just outright kill the damn thing if you don't even want to go through with pregnancy. You can give your child up to an adoption agency. You can take your child up to a fire station, just drop them there and leave. There's so many, there's nothing that holds a woman to her child, legally speaking, here in America. There's so many different ways a woman can disavow her own child here. So if a woman can disavow her child in so many different ways, and again, withholding, you can just kill the thing. If a mother can just disavow her child in so many different other factors, I just don't understand how you can come to the conclusion that it's conservatives and Republicans that want to punish women with children. Again, considering that women don't actually have any legal responsibility to their own children. They can just get rid of them at any point in time they want. Well, at least when they're younger. I mean, I don't really know what you can do with a bunch of teenagers. But again, when you consider all things, when you consider that as a child in question, you may or may not even get to be, considering you'll have to grow up with a father that didn't want you or a mother that didn't want you, considering that you have to grow up in a low socioeconomical situation or class, which means you won't be getting enough nutrients, you won't get the proper education because your mother won't be able to afford it, or you won't be able to go to these different places because you were born into a poor area. You, the child, he's the one that has to deal with this scenario of being born to this low status, not the woman in question. Considering that the father is the one that's got to pay child support, or at least he go to jail, or considering that the father may not be able to see his own children if he doesn't pay up, or if the mother's just vindictive. When I look at it, honestly, the people who really get punished by women having unwanted children, it's not really so much the woman, it would be the father and the child in question, more than anything else. So in all honesty, I just don't understand the mindset that anyone, especially Republicans and conservatives, want to punish women with children. Because women don't have any responsibility to their own children. In fact, any woman that stays with her own child stays because she wants to, and it's a good thing that they got to spend 9 months with those sons of bitches, because, man, man, that's all I got to say about that. So that being said, man, I actually hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, man, go ahead and click that like button. Yeah, shoot, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Yeah, comment in the comment box below, and as always, you guys have yourselves a great day. I'll see you cool cats soon. Adios.